my shitty hair.
It's not too bad.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Steven, have you gotten a bad haircut before? Probably no. You just shave your head.
Now I just do it myself. It's just easier. I
Well, wait.
don't.
Do you do it yourself, or does someone else do it for you?
No, I do it myself,
Oh, I was
and I
like, is her
don't.
name Demi?
No, one time, but I just I also just like any excuse to not sit in the barber chair and have to have those uncomfortable conversations is a
Mm.
win.
Oh, yeah. Do you not like small talk? I think you don't.
I don't
I think I've
mind.
known
It's
this.
something that I want to learn to become better at, but it not at a barber shop. Not with like that's not my target demographic. That's
Yeah,
not where like I'm gonna be able to do my best work.
me too. The last time I got my haircut, which we already know was trash, um, I said some like I said some things that could make me think it could make you think that I was like on another political side.
Well, that's the thing. I have
And
a the
she took it and ran.
Oh, okay, because the barber that I usually go to, which I didn't know this until he said it, but we are on very different perspectives, and he's very, very conservative to the point where he was like asking me to
Happens.
he was asking me to agree with statements as he held the
A
clippers.
buzzer to
So
your head?
of course I'm like, yes, I agree. I agree. The
Same.
vaccine
Hate.
is made up in Microsoft's labs. I was like, totally. I agree.
You're right.
You're right. You're right.
I realized I got in too deep. Like I said some things that were probably so progressive, as in like critical of the left, that like she thought I was right, and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no.
It's hard
It's
because
real. It's a dance.
it's a dance, and I was like, I didn't think I would have to tell you not to bring up these topics.
You're a
I didn't think
grown
I'd have to be
adult.
the. Yeah, I would think it would be the other way around, where he would be like, "Can
Not
we
today,
not?
Steven.
Not today." So
Zzz.
yeah, right. It was like,
Maybe that's why
uh,
Lori gave me a bad haircut.
yeah, I learned my lesson because one time I was at the Denver airport and
Oh,
my flight was canceled, and I was bringing my checked bag over to another counter, and I was so irate, and I was speaking to
irate. Good
the
word.
desk manager, and she was like, "We'll put you on a new flight, whatever, whatever," and I realized that she was gonna be the one responsible for shipping my bags to the new location. And when I walked away from the desk, I was like, those bags are not gonna be getting to my destination. I'm 100% sure. So ever since then, I was like, when people hold your life in their hands, you need to just
They're
play their
right.
game.
You're
They're
right.
right. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
she was going in with the Clippers and with the opinions, both. And I was like, yeah, the economy is suffering. I'll
yeah,
agree with you there.
whatever you want, whatever
Whatever,
you
girl.
want, just make sure that I look somewhat like what I asked for.
Oh my God. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, my alarm bells were like, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, interesting lead in to today's movie, which is Marry Me
Marry me, hot off the
2022.
press. Hot off the press.
Guys, I went in theaters. Saw it on the prime screen, the biggest screen at the okay, not the IMAX screen, but like the big
No.
one.
Yeah, you saw it in theaters. I watched it at home on Peacock. I
Mm,
have the premium membership, so it's
lucky you. I have that
yeah,
ads one, but it's okay.
yeah.
Just a couple ads.
So I'm glad that we both got to see it in slightly different perspectives.
Yeah, but
Um,
we had a very
cur-
similar experience.
yeah, we both loved it.
We both loved it. I was giddy. Oh, giddy
Yeah.
is the word. I was like, yeah, it
I
was
was so
great.
excited to see it. I was so excited to see it, and it delivered. It was better than I would have hoped.
Better than I could have
Honestly,
ever imagined.
it
So
was
good.
better. It was so much better than I could have ever imagined, and it just felt like the right thing. It felt like the right thing to be watching.
I get it. I get it. After all those years of snoozing on J.Lo,
Yeah,
shame on me. I'm so
yeah, that's
sorry.
you. That's
J.Lo,
you.
if you're listening, I want to apologize to you. Like when my
Yeah,
friend back in 2018 was like, come see second act, I was like, no. I'm not going to come see that in theaters.
Yeah, it's not like she puts out a movie every year or twice a year.
No.
Like when these movies drop, you have to go see them.
You gotta go. They're eras. She said it. She said, "Who's ready for the Marry Me era?" on Twitter.
Me.
And I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait."
Yeah,
it was so fun to experience this as like a true fan.
It did feel like a marker of time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Marry Me era.
This is the Marry Me era. I feel so great about that.
For everyone on the planet.
Agree. Planet.
And that becomes true when you watch the credits when she has people.
Real people, right?
Just saying how her story impacted them.
I love J.Lo so much. J.Lo, it does have that impact, though. She has that impact and influence.
Yeah, it was just funny, though, because there's no way they could have seen the movie before they got engaged, these couples. Just the timeline doesn't add up, but yet they were saying that they were like, they had a similar experience, which made me laugh.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out at those parts. I think I was like looking to run out of there.
Yeah.
They were real couples saying how they met, right?
How they met.
Married.
Yeah, and then the last one is J.Lo and Owen Wilson.
Oh.
We met at a concert.
Which they did.
They did meet at a concert.
I was so thankful for the volume of that theater because I was like, I was cheering and like yelping and like no one else was. And I'm just like happy that no one heard me because, it was like loud.
It was loud. It covered your voice.
That church song, oh my God.
It was really good. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible concert.
It was an incredible concert.
They're lucky that Sarah Silverman had 2 extra tickets to go to the concert.
I was like confused by her backstory. She had 2 girlfriends going.
She was like very convenient because what I liked about her character was that any problem that existed, she had like the perfect solution to it. So she just moved things right along.
Yeah, she was a good talking head.
And we didn't learn anything about her, which was helpful because
it allowed gay.
We learned that, and she's a social work or a school counselor. Other than that,
with a bad mouth.
She has a
filthy mouth.
Potty mouth. But before the movie started, they did. I know I had mentioned that I have the premium membership, but they do show you a quick 5-second ad before the movie starts on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
And conveniently enough, the advertisement was for Marry Me.
Oh, lucky you. Mine was not. It was something else. I was bored. I was like,
and in the 5 seconds, it said sing, dance, fall in love.
Good tagline.
And I was like, okay, this is important. So I wrote it down. And honestly,
I'm gonna write that down.
Was the plot of the movie. That was the plot of the movie.
Yes.
First she sang, then she taught him how to dance, and then they fell in love.
They took it literally.
Literally, that was the plot.
Literally. Literal dancing.
Which was inspiring because to just think that's all you need to have a movie is something like sing, dance, fall in love.
Yeah. I'm in the throes of writing a movie right now, and like this makes me inspired. This makes me feel like I can write one. I'm like, I got this.
Just simplify it. Just simplify it.
This is simple. This is a simple movie.
It's simple and
huge.
And also massive at the same time and incomprehensible.
The plot is simple. Like the plotting is simple. Like the charting of what happens, simple. The hoops we have to jump through to buy into some of them of those points, pretty huge. Flame-covered hoops.
Well, okay.
That Sarah Silverman helps us through. But yeah.
Thank you. Why don't you read the summary and then we can start
Then we can like really get into it.
Then we can really get into it.
Okay. Okay. Marry Me 2022. Music superstars Kat Valdez, played by our homegirl J.Lo, and Bastien, played by Maluma, are getting married before a global audience of fans. But when Kat learns seconds before her vows that Bastien has been unfaithful, she decides to marry Charlie, Owen Wilson, a stranger in the crowd instead.
That's true.
All true. Happened.
That is true.
Also, just want to tell everybody, if you haven't seen this movie, stop, go watch it. Please don't spoil it. Like, come on. Don't be dumb.
Don't spoil it. Yeah.
Don't be dumb.
honestly, what you think is going to happen happens, but it's better to watch it. It's better to watch it first.
It's about the journey. Come on, people. Let's go.
It's about, yeah. But what I liked about the movie is that it opens on a music video rehearsal or shoot, hard to tell. And
there's a lot of cameras at all times.
Right.
Interface.
And when by opening up on a music video shoot, I just thought, okay, this is real. This is a real thing.
I felt that way.
Nothing
Did you
is
feel
made
like
up here.
This is her like most, in a way, autobiographical movie. Don't you think that?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I was like, okay, this is real. This is a documentary.
It felt like finally a peek behind the curtain of like what makes J.Lo J.Lo.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
She is quite vulnerable, but it was helpful to start with the dancing and the singing. I don't know, she might have been lip syncing at this part, but it
just to play back of her own voice.
It did ground us in the real world, which I loved.
I was psyched. I was like, okay, we're always kind of joking, or it's true, that J.Lo movies, she's always kind of like a working class lady. She's always one of us. She's always, you know, she's the manager of Cost Plus. She's, you know, the maid in Manhattan, the wedding planner. And it's like, no.
And then then the 19 jobs that she has in Monster-in-Law.
Oh yeah, she's had a dog walker
as
a standout. But like, this is the first time we're seeing J.Lo be J.Lo. I was giddy with excitement. I was cheering. I loved it.
Yeah, it's almost like she took a tour of every other job that people could have, and then she was like, actually, no, thank you. None of those were any fun. I would rather just be what I do.
She's like,
that seems like a better job.
I'm happy to tour all of like the sub 100K a year salaries, but like, let's go with this salary.
Let's go with the one that feels the most right. So that was helpful. And then,
yeah,
I think right away you see her icing her knees with 2 of the biggest bags of ice I've ever seen in my entire life.
She's getting a lot of massages. Not just for self-care even. It's like she needs that. Her body is being taxed.
The massage scene honestly made me sick to my stomach because she was getting a massage, and obviously when you get a massage, if you've never got one, get ready to learn.
You never got a massage?
No, I'm talking to the people in the audience who've never had a massage.
Oh, okay.
They usually lay a towel over you to cover up so you're not indisposed while they're massaging you. Mm-hmm. She has an Hermes wool blanket over her. That is disgusting when you're getting a massage with all the oils and everything like
getting
that.
Soaked in.
Oh, I thought that was. I was like, okay, what they're trying to tell us is that she's rich, but what they're also trying to tell us is she's never had a massage, because you would never put a wool blanket over your body while you're getting a massage.
Yeah, some of the choices were real interesting to me. I was like, okay, these people have never been to a math Olympiad. They've never been to an after-school math program. They don't know how long it takes to Google something, because it's not that fast.
Yeah. Well,
it was like reality, but it was like not reality.
It was J.Lo's reality.
It's the reality I want to be in when I'm watching a movie. I'm sorry. Like, this was perfect.
Yeah, everything is neatly fits into its box. And so even down to Owen Wilson's apartment, which we're interspersing J.Lo's morning routine with Owen Wilson's. Yeah. And we don't know his career yet, but when we see his apartment, which literally looks like the apartment Nicole Kidman had in The Undoing.
Yes, it did.
I was right. It was the same kitchen, and then I was thinking to myself, okay, he must be
rich.
This is a huge apartment
in Brooklyn, right? Yeah,
in Brooklyn,
gorgeous. I thought you were going to comment about how dark it was, dark decor, because he's a boy.
It was dark. There was
dark wood, greens,
very dark wood, very masculine. The apartment didn't get a lot of light. But when we found out that he was a teacher,
you were like,
in a public school,
I was like, bullshit.
Right. And then I made the unfortunate conclusion, which turned out to be wrong. But when we slowly find out, aka in the first scene, that there's no mom there, I was like, oh, dead mom
That's what I
left money. No,
Fair.
she's still alive.
She's alive and well.
We're living in like the Sex and the City finance world where a journalist can have a huge apartment. There was no.
Yeah.
This was not a typical teacher's apartment in Brooklyn.
I know. I was like, maybe he just saved his whole life. Like, he's such a conservative saver that he was able to.
He's good with numbers. He's good with numbers.
We did find that out. And I said, do you believe Owen Wilson did math? And you said middle school math.
Middle school math,
I think was pre-air, folks, at home. Yeah. Just letting you know.
High school math, I don't think I would have liked to seen him teach a calculus class, but I did think that it was to know the first 3 digits of pi after the period, I felt was appropriate.
That was totally appropriate, yeah.
And when the one student tried to keep going, he was like, stop.
He's like, enough, that's plenty.
That's we stop at the 4.
I only know 3.14159. That's all I know.
Well, that's more than me. And probably Owen Wilson.
Sorry. But I'm kind of smart.
I did think to myself, wow, he's really charming.
He surprised the shit out of me in this, and I would love to know his casting process. It seemed like he really won the role. It seemed like he might have submitted an audition, and he was the best.
I hope so.
Which is
because
nice.
In all the promo for this movie, like when they went and sat down with Gail on the CBS This Morning, they're never mentioning Owen Wilson. He's not a part of the conversation at all. It's always J.Lo and Maluma. And
well, I mean, I'd like to keep the men out of our star vehicles. It's my favorite way to go about it.
They have the other guy.
Maluma. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is. He's cute though.
He is a musical superstar. And
really?
Yes. And
oh shit, he's young.
He's a lot younger than J.Lo.
27.
Yeah, that's a little bit younger. So it was also nice to see Owen Wilson, who is, I assume, roughly around J.Lo's age.
That was lovely. That was nice.
It felt right. And weirdly, this was one of the better romances that J.Lo, I think, has ever had.
Agree.
I mean, thinking back to like the true loaf of bread guy from Monster in Law, I can't even tell you his name.
Don't remember it.
The
terrible.
Guy in Maid in Manhattan was such a snooze.
Well, he's a good actor, but terrible.
Matthew McConaughey was weird.
The worst. The worst one I've ever seen.
And Milo Ventimiglia in second act had anger management issues. So
yeah, that was weird. It was all weird. This one favorite.
Felt right. This one felt right.
My favorite.
I actually wish they forced them to get married. That would have been. I would have liked to have seen that.
Okay, let's kind of go there. Like, so we're setting up her world. We're setting up his world.
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman has not inexplicably, she got 3 tickets to the concert. Her girlfriend bows out. She's like, oh my God, Owen Wilson and your daughter, you have to come.
Yeah. And this is triggered because one of the other teachers walks by playing the Marry Me ringtone.
Marry me, say yes, say yes.
And they were like, oh my God, is that a Marry Me ringtone?
And he's like, hell yeah, it is. Are you dumb?
He's like, it's only the biggest song in the world.
Yeah, and a lot of exposition in this movie. Bastion and Cat Valdez.
He couldn't have just been playing the song. It just was very strange that it was a ringtone.
Okay, does anyone have a ringtone out loud today? No.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, I don't have a ringtone. I haven't had a ringtone in years. And I guess if I had to have a ringtone, I would consider using the Marry Me song.
Limitless.
Limitless would probably be ahead of Marry Me.
Yes, agree.
But the fact that he's just walking by and someone's... Well, okay, when a ringtone plays, and not to state the obvious, it means someone's calling you. So he's walking by the two of them while the ringtone's playing. He doesn't seem really concerned about who's on the other end of the call.
Doesn't care at all.
He just wants to show off his ringtone.
Okay, so we are playing in a wild reality, and I do think it's fun to call it out. Like, I think that's just fun. I love this movie. So, like, okay, in that moment, how about a little product placement? Is that Marry Me? Yeah, I just got Apple Music. He's playing it out loud.
This movie is littered with product placement.
It is. There's Apple everywhere.
All I want to do is buy a Vitamix and carry a Coach bag because that was what the movie was telling me to do.
I was like, I want a Coach bag.
And shop at Guess.
I want to go to Guess. I want a Coach bag. I want a Vitamix. I want J.Lo's body.
Which is just funny because, like, if you follow her Instagram, you know that I don't know about the Vitamix, but she's a rep for Coach.
She is
It's
this
just
person. Like, she is this person. This is producer J.Lo
right.
cashing in on all of her shit in this
It's
movie.
almost like what she's saying with the title is
Marry
marry
me.
me. She's inviting the audience to marry her.
Marry me.
Marry me. And you have to because she chose you. And she chose all of us. And she's basically saying you're married to me.
You're married for the next 2 hours. How long was that movie? I think it was like 2
2
hours.
hours.
You're
She's
married
like, when I
to
wear a
me.
Coach purse, you wear a Coach purse.
She's just so good at her job, man. I wanted all of those things. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
did.
with all the product placement, he's an out loud ringtone with Marry Me? No.
Right. But you're right.
He's
So
playing it out loud on his
they
AirPod.
they do go to the concert. And
Yes.
well, before the concert starts, her and Maluma are talking, and they go back and forth between speaking in English and Spanish, and it just
Nice.
did make me laugh because I thought, imagine they had her speak Italian. Like,
I was screaming. I go, wow, finally J-Lo can come out as a Latina
yeah,
in
I
a
was
film.
like, it was wild to me just because we just watched Wedding Planner where she was an Italian, and thank God they didn't have her speak any yeah
Ciao, Bastian.
any Italian in that movie, but it would have been
Come
funny. If they,
stai? I'm sorry, that's the only Italian I know. Spaghetti.
Okay, but then they go to the concert and
Yeah, they're at the concert.
great seats.
I lost myself in this. Great seats, shocking. They're in the pit,
Right.
kind of, but like
They're
not
in the
squished.
pit.
They're not squished to the front.
They're in the pit, and I guess everyone knows that she's going to get married at the concert. That's the big to do.
Yes.
Because Jimmy Fallon, one of the two,
One of the
makes a
Jimmys.
joke about it.
He's a real asshole with his jokes.
Okay,
in this.
well, this is why I watched The View, because when J.Lo was on The View, she talked about these scenes, and she said she made a point to have these scenes included because she says she's happy to go on all these shows and she's happy to be talked about, but she says that when people make fun of her, she gets really hurt. So she wanted to include these scenes. And honestly, it just made my blood boil. It was one of those moments where I was like, this is worth 45 to life. I wanted
Jimmy to catch these hands.
Yeah.
To punch him out. I was like,
And
you're a douchebag for that.
they're all caught up in big J.Lo machine. Hoda Kotb, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy, yeah, I loved seeing them. I love
Kelly
like a
and
real
Ryan.
touch. Yeah, it was a real look behind the curtain. I really appreciated this. I don't like when my stars are too guarded. I don't like when I don't know about
Right.
you, which is really funny because like I don't want anyone to know about me. But like,
Right.
I just like loved this peak. But yeah,
Right.
they have amazing seats. They're at the concert. I lost myself in this sequence. I'm laughing. I'm laughing out loud at the church. It's happy laughter. I'm not making fun of it. The church
They start with like
song?
a sexy nun dance where I guess we're building up to the marriage because she's wearing a cross bodysuit and she's
Right
dancing
over her.
suggestively with nuns, and that just means that the next song is going to be the wedding.
Yeah.
That's the natural progression.
Yeah, and in terms of insane timelines in this, breaking news, page 6.
Page 6.
Bastian.
Felt real.
What? Not real, right?
No, it felt real.
No, that's what I say. It felt real. I was like, is
Yeah.
page 6 real though? I think it is.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh, no.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I don't follow.
I say honestly, I tell people one of my worst habits is that I read the New York Post every day. So
This is a bad habit.
it's a bad habit. But
Yeah.
yes, page 6 is
We can
real.
cut that if you're not comfortable.
No, if I'm comfortable.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's you.
It's your uncomfortability.
It's
with
your
it.
uncomfortability that you have to sit in. Okay, go ahead.
I know, because sometimes I've tried to send you like a jokey New York Post. I'm like, eye roll, right? And you're like, wait, I caught that this morning.
Yeah,
I love this
read
publication.
I checked the post.
Yeah, so there's a fly in my room.
Okay,
I got it.
that's disgusting.
Sorry, folks at home, I just killed a fly. Okay. So yeah, they're at the concert. She sings the church song. Boom. Breaking news, page 6. Bastian has been cheating on her. And we see a video
With
of
her
Bastian
assistant.
making out with her assistant.
Disgusting.
Stupid whore.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Her name's Tyra. That's what the movie wants you to think.
Yeah. We don't
speaking-
ever get to hear her side of the story.
No, we don't get to hear Tyra's side of it. We only get to hear it from Bastian's side, and he's scum.
Right. Yeah.
Scum.
Okay.
So it's breaking news, but like everyone backstage, everyone in the audience is starting to catch on to page 6 because I guess they all get the push notifications probably.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows, and she's in the dark because she's on stage. She doesn't
Yeah.
know. And her manager's trying to keep it from her, right? As she's like getting in full wedding garb, about to marry him.
Yeah.
Manager is trying to keep it from her, but she knows something's up. Like, because J.Lo has that like instinct, right?
You're right, right,
And she's
right.
like, "What's up?" And then he shows her the phone, and she's like, "Oh no!" And that slow mo shot of her dropping the phone, how cool! How cool!
It was cool, but then I knew what we were about to get, which I love her to death. But in every movie, we get the whisper acting, and
Love her to death.
unfortunately, the next scene. But at least we got it over with very quickly in the beginning of the movie. But she does her breath acting as she told the audience what had happened to her. And
About
she,
love.
it was I can't even like I can't make any excuses for it. It drives me insane. But
Yeah. It's like, okay, everyone kind of does it. And then we just happen to know the J-Lo cadence of it because she does it in every movie.
she does it in every
There's like this dramatic moment where she does that.
she does it in every movie.
I
But
want you
like
to
I
be
said,
there
I'm glad we got it over with now.
for
because
every recital, every
yeah,
scraped knee. This is Monster-in-Law.
it was
It's just a
it,
cadence. It's just like a light cadence with a whisper.
yeah. So as she's delivering the monologue about how she's no longer engaged and she sees Owen Wilson in the crowd with the "Marry Me" sign. But okay, just last night I had watched the latest episode of Celebrity Big Brother. And
Good for you.
okay, it ties in
Okay.
because as I'm watching the episode, Julie Chen Moonves continues to mention
That's a
"Marry
real
Me."
name.
Yeah, "Marry Me, Marry Me, Marry Me" movie, and I'm like, where are we going with this? Then one of the competitions in the episode was a kind of Where's Waldo challenge where they presented a huge image with thousands of people holding up signs,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like gridded off, and you had to very quickly identify which square in the grid the person was holding up the "Marry Me" sign. And each time it got more and more complicated,
This sounds
and
hard.
it was so
This
hard.
sounds hard.
I was trying to do it from the couch, and I got at least the first four, but after that it got too quick.
Yeah.
So it gave me a new perspective for J.Lo in this position
And how
to
she was
look
like
out. Yeah,
looking
she
out.
was scanning the crowd.
I got to admit, the movie probably could have done a better job of burying him a little bit. He had a lot of space between him and the stage,
He had a lot of space in between him and the
a
stage,
lot of gaps.
and I think the movie was treating they were treating the poster as if it was unique messaging.
It wasn't.
But it wasn't. It was the new song.
It was just a
So
"Marry Me" sign, not the "Marry Me" sign. Well, maybe it
and it
was
didn't
the "Marry Me" sign.
and it didn't have a question mark. So what he
Nope.
wasn't doing is he wasn't asking her.
No, he was just saying, "I like your song," called
Yeah.
"Marry Me."
Well, not even. It was Sarah Silverman's sign, and he was just holding
Yeah.
it for like a second.
I could see
So
them laying that pipe too. Couldn't you see it? She goes, "Hold this for a second."
yeah,
Like, right? And he's like, "Okay." Holding it.
The first time
Screamed.
that I screamed out loud in laughter was when J.Lo looks at the sign after she's done her whisper acting, or it's kind of her last sentence she does in her whisper voice. She goes, "Sure."
Sure. I was just confused at what they wanted us to think at this point in the movie. Like,
I wrote down this movie is unhinged at this point, and I don't ever want it to end.
don't
When
ever
she's-
want it to end.
I was like, it's already going by too fast. When she just looks at him and goes, "Sure," I was like,
What?
this is amazing. This is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
I agree. It was so good. I was enjoying the shit out of this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. I see where they're going. I go, they can't. They wouldn't. They can't.
They are.
No way. They are. Sure. And then she's like, you. And then they're like,
Yeah.
buddy, get up there. Blah, blah. Like, everyone's like, get up there, Owen Wilson. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Is she going to say, is there ever going to be an off mic moment where she leans in and goes, just go with it? Like, it's
Right.
like, I was looking for that sort of break.
Right. It's almost like this is something that musical artists do at their concerts. Like when Britney Spears brings you
Yeah.
up on the stage to do a sexy dance for you. it's not because she's in love with you. It's part of the act.
Yeah, and I
So
was looking for that, like, pulls the mic aside and just goes, okay, like, this is what's gonna happen. Just go with it. Like,
yeah,
it's
just,
part of the show.
you'll do great.
You'll do great, sweetie. They took it the most seriously.
They took it the most seriously, and luckily, one of the backup dancers was an ordained minister, and he was able to marry them on the spot.
Well, that was the guy that was gonna marry her to Bastion, right?
Right.
So, like, it was all planned out. All they did was just swap out the guy.
Right,
And
on the marriage certificate, and it was.
I was like,
I
what?
was like, are they married?
That's what I thought. I go, are they actually married?
And the movie like sort of dances around this the whole movie, but they are married, right?
They're married, right?
Okay, but the rest of the movie sort of doesn't.
They're like, this is just for publicity. Just go with it. I'm like,
Right.
but you're married, right?
But you're married, and it did remind me of one of my favorite shows of all time, Married at First Sight.
That's
which
what I
is
thought that
essentially-
this was like.
You're right, and which is a great show, and but
Plug.
normally on that show they're not celebrities, so it's kind of it's a little bit more sad, but I've seen it work out on Married at First Sight, so
I was like, that's what we're doing. Okay. I just like, as she's saying I do, I'm like,
Right.
okay. And then it's his turn, and I'm like waiting for him to lean in and go, are you serious? Just something, give me something that he's like a thinking man. And he goes,
Right.
sure, or whatever. And then
I think he says sure as well.
he says sure. Which in
And then
Geely, she's like, is it yes or sure? Which would have been great if she brought that out. Not the same character.
Right. And from there he leaves his daughter unattended in the crowd. Well, I guess Sarah Silverman is there, but
I know, and then he gets in a van.
He's away from her for hours. For hours. He goes off with Jennifer Lopez, and they go to the hotel, and again, it's like this very weird conversation of they're not really addressing the elephant in the room, which is not even the elephant, it's the only thing in the room because they don't know each other, but are they married?
I was waiting for that conversation to happen in the car.
And he's taking care of her because she's not doing well.
Yeah, she's distraught. It's a good performance.
Yeah, he's very calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
So they drop her off at the hotel room, and then he goes home. What I loved about the next scene, too, was this, much like Geely, this is a yoga movie.
This is a movie about yoga.
She was doing another downward dog.
I love watching J.Lo do yoga. I'll watch that forever.
She was recollecting about the night before.
Yeah, and they're just once again jumping through hoops to explain what we just saw.
Right. That was what was strange about this section is that they really dance around the fact of them being married when it seemed pretty clear that they were.
They're married.
So they're married.
Right.
They're married. What I was hoping for in this scene is, and I understand that it's more charming that they like court each other and they still retain their separate lives. But I was like, move in, move in, move in.
I was like, let's go full Married at First Sight, please.
Right. Okay, on Married at First Sight, they force them to get married and then they have to go on a honeymoon right away.
I was
and
like,
they have to sleep
get
in the same
them
bed.
together. But no, like, it's clearly very much like publicity. She's like, I gotta go to London, bye. But yeah, the yoga scene was interesting because she's like, I've made the wrong choice every other time. Why not do it this way? And as the audience member, you're going, yeah, why not?
Right. And then she goes, but I don't want to be a punchline. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the right thing because
this might make it worse.
Has all the hallmarks of a classic punchline, but
yeah, because then Jimmy Fallon does give her the punchline. He's like, then she marries the pool boy and the bellhop and the Uber driver.
Yeah, he's disgusting.
His dumb fucking face in this movie.
Right. I was like, I hope you rot in prison for the rest of your life because, okay, the next scene. This is something where I thought, okay, J.Lo's never watched the Today Show because they say they were like, okay, we have to get you ready for the Today Show. It's, let's say, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he goes, fine. I have to be somewhere at 8 for work. And the assistant with a big attitude, she was like, you don't move for the, you don't make the Today Show move. You move for the Today Show.
Today Show gets shot at
7 a.m.
crack of dawn.
It starts at 7. So
Ass crack of dawn.
we could do, and this seems like a pretty hot news item. So I think we could squeeze into the first hour of the Today Show, and then he could go to work.
Agree.
I don't think he was being unreasonable. He just said, I'd like to be in the first hour, which if anyone knows anything about Today's Show, that's where they put the best guests anyway.
Yeah, and Cat Valdez is a news story at this point. She
It's a
goes
news
in the
item.
first hour. She goes in the first hour.
They're not putting J.Lo in the third hour with Al.
No, hell no.
And there are certainly, they might have her repeat with Hoda and Jenna in the fourth hour, but she's going to be in the first hour for sure. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think that they're just like the layperson doesn't know how the Today Show works, so we're good.
No, she has no idea.
We're golden.
She's never seen it.
Same with the audience. Like me, you, I mean, we're smarter than the layperson, sorry.
Right.
But like, yeah, the typical audience member probably isn't worried about the ins and outs of the Today Show. But I was like, I don't know, buddy. I think you can go. I think you can do it.
I thought it could work. But
yeah. Is the press conference next where they like charm?
Before the press conference, he watches her film her SpawnCon for the Vitamix.
SpawnCon.
And he's watching her like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But he's also like, this is fake and curated.
Fake
he's pretty
and curated.
judgmental.
Social media kind of sucks. But right. And then after the scene, we sort of get these vignettes of them putting on a show for the cameras.
Yeah.
And they do a variety of things.
My God. Again, wild reality that we're living in. Just truly insane. I'm trying to think. I did buy that J.Lo has that one cameraman following her at all times because during the Hustlers era, I remember she had like a YouTube channel going.
Yeah, that seemed normal.
That was real.
For a YouTube channel. That didn't strike me as crazy.
Yeah. There was always that guy who didn't know how to film at all. Whoever they hired to do that, he didn't know how to hold the camera.
If I was a fan, I would have wanted the footage of them at Lucky Strike going bowling.
The bowling was nice. So sweet.
The bowling was really cute. And
I was dying when he was like going to teach her how to do it. And then she gets the strike. I was like, thank God. Thank God.
Right. It was really cute. And I really enjoyed how quickly they were falling in love. And again, I wrote down, I really never want this movie to end.
Yeah, I didn't want that movie to end ever. Before their little, nothing really happens at the press conference, but they do hold a press conference, and he just like kind of charms the crowd, and she charms them back.
He charms the crowd,
it's cute.
I think also they're communicating that Owen Wilson is not with her to become famous himself. He seems really unfazed by it. He's not trying to be a new celebrity.
Yeah.
And I think she's really taken by that.
Mm-hmm. As evidenced by his flip phone, by the way.
Yeah, you can't even text with that.
Can't even text with that. Yes, you can. Slowly.
Slowly.
That was good. But I didn't really believe he would hold a flip phone. I was like, no. He's got to be able to communicate with his daughter. Like, no.
I mean, he's into math. I would assume he's.
Don't you want a calculator on your phone, buddy?
He's not a lady in STEM, but he's a man in STEM.
He's a man in STEM. The school scenes were fucking unhinged.
The school scenes were really funny. So basically, bowling,
his
press
place,
conference, whatever.
Cute.
Oh yeah, his place. She's
dog
like,
walking.
This is where you live, and
I wanted her to be like, "Wow, gorgeous." I think she did say this is nice.
Well, she does, and she's like, swing, I gotta try this. And she sits on the swing. It was really cool, but again, just like a really unrealistic apartment for a public school teacher.
I know, it didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense.
A lot of greenery, great lamps.
Right, but what this wasn't is it wasn't the scene in 2 Weeks Notice where Hugh Grant goes to Sandra Bullock apartment and is like,
he goes,
this
wow,
is disgusting.
This is terrible.
I can walk from one side to the other in 10 seconds.
Wow, 10 paces and I'm there.
Yeah.
I wish that the design of his apartment was less and smaller because I kind of want that moment. I want her to come in and be like, this is charming.
And then
and hate it.
I did write down in this moment, and I knew that I wasn't going to be disappointed, but I had to write it down just to like get it out of my system. But I was like, I swear to God, if these two don't end up together at the end of the movie, I will kill someone. I was because we hadn't seen
I
Maluma
swear to God.
I swear to God, because we hadn't seen Maluma in a long time, and I knew that something was going to upset the balance, and
Yeah.
it wasn't going to upset it anytime soon. But I just I had to express it because I was already too invested in their relationship
Yeah.
for it to fail.
This is a movie where you can definitely just see the train tracks. You can see them.
Oh, train tracks, and again, we'll get to it, but it's like 30 minutes before the movie ends. Something goes wrong.
Something happens. Something happens.
But the next scene, you're right. They go to the school. Well, he's there because he's working. But J.Lo surprises him, which did make me laugh because before J.Lo can come in, Sarah Silverman was like, "Okay, raise your hand if you guys returned your signed releases." And like 2 kids didn't. And she was like, "Okay, Tommy and Jimmy, you can leave."
She goes, "Get out."
She's like, "For everybody else who knows how to follow directions."
Great energy. It was really good energy.
And then so then J.Lo walks in and his daughter is in the class and Owen Wilson says, "Oh, this is my daughter." And
she's like, "This is Lou? You guys haven't met yet?"
And then Sarah Silverman looks at him, she goes, "You're married." And that's in that moment.
Good best friend work.
But it was also a helpful reminder to the audience. I was like, they are married.
They're married.
Like, why are we not talking about this more? Like, they are married.
I love how of all the things that this movie does not explain at all, the thing that they felt the need to explain was, did you get your waiver signed? No, get out. Because the audience was going to be uncomfortable if a bunch of cameras got turned on some 11-year-olds.
Yeah, they definitely had their consultant there.
So they had the script consultant that day go, "Can we give Silverman an improv here?"
Or better yet, they go to film the scene and J.Lo was like, "Guys, I got into a lot of trouble one time when I barged into an elementary school and started filming the kids. So they told me I needed releases. So I would add that in."
I really do love that read on it. I love that day of. J.Lo's like,
whoa, I'm not
time out.
I'm not doing this again.
I know I'm the producer on this movie and the script has been through a million revisions, but
yeah,
Silverman's got to improvise something here. And Silverman's like, "I got this."
It was really good. And then J.Lo teaches the kids not necessarily how to solve math problems, but what to do when you get stressed.
This was wild.
It's just dance. A little movement.
A little footloose.
Helps alleviate the stress.
I was so stressed out by these scenes. Okay, she's trying to make Lou feel better, the daughter, because we know Lou notoriously has stage fright, and J.Lo's like, "Look up my blah 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 VMAs performance to try to make them feel better," right?
Okay,
and that little kid goes, "Got it."
He looks it up. But what was really funny about the scene is I missed that, and I didn't understand why that boy looked up the MTV VMA performance. Now I know that she asked.
She was trying to make Lou feel better, and she's trying to bring up a point where she embarrassed herself very publicly, right? So within 3 seconds, this kid is like, "Hey, Google, blah blah, Cat Valdez VMAs, blah blah blah." It's the fastest clip imaginable to the point where you're not even really sure what happened, and she goes, "That's enough."
Okay, but you're right, because I didn't know what we were learning from the clip.
I didn't know what we were trying to get from the clip. It was too fast. It's too fast. Just a second too quickly.
I didn't know that the clip was informative. I didn't know that we were learning something from it.
We were supposed to learn that she embarrassed herself.
That didn't come through on my watch.
Didn't you? It was like 2 seconds.
Okay, it was really quick.
It was like they were trying to find someone, probably some smart aleck on YouTube, cut together this performance, and they put the subtitles, and then when she forgets the lyrics, which is what's supposed to have happened, they put a bunch of question marks on the screens, leading you to believe she forgot the lyrics. But we really did need that exposition after, where she goes, "Yup, forgot the lyrics to a song I wrote."
It was helpful because
it's helpful exposition.
And it would have been really, I bet what happened is I bet the producers was like, "Hey, J.Lo, do you remember a performance where you flubbed the lyrics or something like that? It would be really interesting to put in the movie." And I bet she was like, "No, never happened."
Never happened. I don't forget.
So they were like, okay, we have to,
Ooh,
because
okay.
the clip, like to your point, it was just so, it wasn't a train wreck. So it was hard to understand that we were supposed to watch this and be like, this was the worst moment of her professional career.
I needed 7 more seconds at the end where she's like, shock on her face, taps the thing in her ear, the
Yeah.
whole band, maybe a cut to the band where they're like, okay, we got you,
Yeah.
girl. Just a couple
Yeah.
more seconds.
Love don't cost.
Cost a thing. What was the Ashley Simpson performance where on SNL where she flubs the lyrics?
What did she sing? Pieces of Me?
Was it Pieces of Me? I probably not.
On a Monday.
Pieces, pieces. I love that song. Okay. So yeah, she goes, yep, forgot the lyrics. And everyone's like, oh no. Like all the kids are like, stop it.
Yeah.
And she's like, but you want to know what helps me? Make the dance so hard that all you can focus on are the moves. And you'd
which
forget.
To me, I would forget the lyrics.
You would forget the lyrics. That's exactly what would happen.
And again, I'm not gonna say that she does this, but that sounds like what somebody who lip syncs would say.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm not saying she does it.
I'm not. Oh God, no.
God, no. I know she doesn't.
She doesn't lip sync in the movie. We know that because she tells the band in the first scene, "Guys, stop." And it comes through on her mic.
And it comes through. Yeah. Like there's something to be said for just like distracting your analytical brain and trying to get to that impulse brain. I'm there for that. Like I've been in plenty of acting class where to kind of keep your mind off the words, you toss around a baseball. We've done that. It's kind of nice. Yeah. You're tying up that part of your brain. I understand what she was going for.
Yeah.
If you're solving a math problem at a podium, you can't do choreo. I'm sorry. You just can't.
Well, I think what the problem is we have two... It's what's the expression? Oh, two wrongs don't make a right. Because his style of math is sit with it, and the problem it will come. And her style of stage fright is do something else. So those two trains colliding, it just seems like a disaster. In terms of mathematics, I just thought to myself, I mean, I don't think it would have made any difference, but I would be willing to try this method if I had to retake my AP Calc exam. But I just don't think it would have. I don't think it would have improved if I would have gotten up and done a little jig.
I was trying to put both to the test in my brain. He has a catchphrase, and it's if you sit with a question long enough, you'll find the answer.
Yeah.
No.
You'll find a answer.
I don't know, man. I mean, I took AP Calc. Okay, you might be shit out of luck.
It's some of them are not going to come. I can guarantee.
Some of the answers are just not going to come if you didn't prepare. If you didn't prepare.
Yeah, that's
right. But really fun scene. She teaches the whole class a dance, and they do it. And Sarah Silverman's there, and they're all doing the dance, and her social media person's there filming. Yeah, and this is where we noticed that really weird lens work in this movie. Truly bizarre.
It was, but I had seen it way before this scene.
Yeah, it was all over the place. Yeah.
The ratio or the perspective of the camera is so messed up, especially in some of the wide shots. It was weird. Yeah, it was like bendy people, bendy buildings. Yeah. And
folks at home, look for it. On the outskirts of your screen, the people just got really slim. They look like Gumby people.
I think it obviously they needed to get this movie out for Valentine's Day. I just think it could have used one more pass through the editing bay.
I think they went with some wrong lens choices.
Yeah, I think so.
For the amount of people they're trying to cram on screen.
Yeah, there's a whole cast.
Yeah.
But then after this, they go back to J.Lo's apartment, which Lou, the daughter, she's so excited to see the apartment, but she's even more excited to see the bags, the Coach bags,
get wheeled in.
Which to me was really funny because, and I know it was like meant well. I'm sure she does work with Dress for Success.
It was for charity.
It was for charity, but it was only enough for charity unless she needed them for personal use. And she takes one of the bags that was for the charity and gives it to the daughter. But she does make a point to say that she'll reimburse.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll pay them back. I was a little bit like, okay, she just pulls the bag off. She doesn't let Lou pick.
She's like, this one. She
goes, here, you look like you like black.
Yeah.
With a chain. Give it to her.
If only it had been a tray of Dooney and Burke bags, you would have been in heaven. hot
Wait,
heaven.
how'd you know? You know this about me.
Yeah, I know you have Dooney and Burke bags still.
You know I have like 16, right? um, the biggest travesty
Some of the
alive.
ugliest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
No, the ones from the early 2000s with the charms. Come on, the ones that Lindsay Lohan pushed.
Oh, like the rainbowy ones?
Yes, get out. Come on, so cool.
Some of them are cute.
Thank you, thank you. I had the bowler's bag, the one that
looked and a nod to it.
The one that looked like a bowling bag. I had.
Yeah, those were really popular.
When I went home to New York for Christmas, I remember thinking, take back one of these bags. Like,
yeah, they're like kind of cool now.
They're definitely back in. And my dumb ass forgot. And so I'm sitting here without one, and I'm
without
very
one
annoyed.
of your Dooney and Burks.
My beloved Dooney and Burks that had a little cell phone pouch in it for a flip phone for your Razor, your Motorola Razor.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Tell me more, Chanel. Moving
tell me
on.
more about your Dooney and Burke bags. But it
You're just jealous. You wanted one.
It did make me excited to think about all of your Dooney and Burke bags.
Yeah. Oh, God love him.
Yeah.
Never bought a designer bag again after middle school, so I don't know what I was compensating for.
Well, I mean, Dooney Burke is accessible, so
I do think it was, and you want to know what? I actually didn't really know that J.Lo was a Coach person, and I did feel like, wow, accessible. Like, she's not doing Prada.
No, she's doing
not
Coach.
Doing Fendi, Coach.
Yeah.
Which, I was like, this is an accessible star.
Everyone can have access to Coach. So
I think so. So she goes to J.Lo's apartment. Cute.
And then
J.Lo's working on a song.
J.Lo's working on a song.
And Lou goes, what's the next words? J.Lo goes, I don't know yet. Lou goes, sit with the question long enough. You'll find the answer.
She's like, shut up.
And she's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know how to write songs. I'm just kidding.
But then J.Lo reorganizes her schedule and they go to the dance together.
That was cute.
It was so cute and
cringe.
And also cringe.
Both and.
I mean, to get so dressed up to go to the dance was funny.
Did you think her cleavage was inappropriate?
Obviously.
It was a very inappropriate outfit by a wardrobe department.
And then I'm like, okay, not your moment. She marches up to that stage and finds someone who plays a musical instrument and she performs.
Yeah.
Steals the spotlight.
The teacher is a fellow connoisseur of the song or a fellow something of song. You don't remember.
I don't remember. But
yeah, basically the really cringy like band teacher gets like the a cappella group to sing Marry Me to her face just for an autograph. And then he goes, okay, everybody shut up.
Yeah. My turn.
There was a lot of best friend work in this movie. Almost like 3. There was the band teacher, Sarah Silverman, and her assistant. Michelle or Melissa.
Oh, I could not stand her assistant. She sucked.
It's just the trope. They just put the tropes in there.
Yeah, I agree though that I wish it would have just been more Sarah Silverman on the screen versus the other people, but I guess you're right. They do have a few different friends throughout the movie.
It's like J.Lo has a best friend, Owen Wilson has a best friend, and Sarah Silverman has a best friend.
Yeah.
And everyone got a best friend in this movie. In a fun way, because this is such a tropey rom-com. Very fun to just stand that on its head. One of them's a dude. I don't know. Fun.
Sure.
You're not convinced.
No, I wasn't.
You're not convinced.
No, I didn't like it. But after that, they dance together. He needs like a lot of coaxing to dance with her. And I don't know if it's right after this or they do something else, but they do finally spend the night together.
That was weird.
It was okay. He's like basically a stranger. And the only thing that I can be thankful for is that they kept private things private.
Yeah, we got a cutaway, a tasteful cutaway.
Just like Made in Manhattan. Like as soon as they started kissing, the camera turned off.
Did you feel like the writing there was really weird? He's like, tonight, what's going to go down? And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, if this is going to be the best night of my life, I need to not get my hopes up. And I'm like, is that how you're really going to ask somebody to sleep with you? Presume first? It was really weird.
It was really weird. And I know that we're supposed to have bought in at this point that they are really, really liking each other. They love each other.
Yeah.
But it just felt really fast. And
I would have been like, I need 6 more months of this.
And again,
of
I
not
was like,
seeing you.
Again, I was like, we're married. Guys, we're married. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's not unholy. We're married.
Let's have that conversation first. But
yeah, so they do get a cutaway. There's a very sweet after next morning scene. She looks phenomenal in his shirt. So
right.
good.
And we can infer what they did the night before.
Yeah, something bad.
And she picks up the phone and she cancels her activities for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to, I guess what we're supposed to believe is her house. Still TBD.
Wait. This is a really fun and games section. Because this is where he proposes the challenge to her.
Oh.
The premise for the next the premise for the next 15 minutes is going to be she has to do everything without any help.
And he has to go on social media.
And I'm just like, J.Lo had a lot of overhead. The help is not help. It's like, this is necessary.
Yeah, she's running a business.
She's a lot of people on the payroll. You can't just fire them.
It becomes all the more clear when she gets to her
summer home. Yeah.
And she doesn't have the key.
No key. Checks under the mat.
Takes a rock and shatters a window.
If anything could be less accessible to the public, it's that. Don't do that.
That would have been a scenario where as Owen Wilson, I would have said, okay, you can make a call. I mean, it has to be here somewhere.
I think that could have been a very funny punchline where she does shatter the window and he goes, no, that's not what we do. Like, that would have been funny.
Or just like, that's not what I meant. Like,
yeah, a very fun little punchline. But they use it later.
Or you could have been like, should I have taken a picture of that for my Instagram?
Something. Some little joke. I'm not sold on that last one. We're workshopping it.
But they go into the house.
Oof. Have a little date.
They have a little date, and they're really playing her to be, she can't fend for herself. She can't find silverware. She can't find the glasses. She can't remember to put the cover on the Vitamix that she uses every day. She can't find chairs. She doesn't know where the table is.
Yeah.
So they're sitting on the ground, and they are.
But there's competing ideas because she's like, I'm the most independent person ever. And I'm like, I agree. I believe you. And you can't find the glasses.
And she can't find the glasses. So you're right. They've thrown down this mutual challenge, and they're both rising to it. Hers seems a lot more difficult than his, which is just to get an Instagram account.
Yeah.
But
hers is harder.
But
whatever.
At least she is open to feedback, and she's willing to give it a go.
Mm-hmm. And she does. She gives it a very nice go.
Right.
I'm trying to think after that.
Well, again, so at this point we have like 30-ish minutes left in the movie, and I'm like, I am just waiting for a shoe to drop. I'm waiting for something terrible to go out.
Yeah.
Wrong. But before that can even happen, J.Lo, who has like an insane memory, because she remembers that morning he said that his mother passed away, but they like to go to Coney Island.
Oh, yeah.
So she rents out Coney Island.
And I know a guy. Turns on the lights.
And they go on the Ferris wheel together, and it's so cute. But again,
the wishing wheel.
Yeah. He's like, we don't call it that.
He's like, you fucking idiot. It's not the Wonder Wheel. It's the wishing wheel.
He's like, I don't call it that. It's the wishing wheel.
Yeah, that was cute. Like, okay. They make a wish.
But again, we're getting so close to the end, and I'm like, things are going too well.
Yeah, we need that all is lost moment. Also, This is like the pacing of a Star Vehicle that I love. It is shoot out of a cannon. It's like boom from the get. There's no breather. I told you, the little kid doesn't even take a second to Google this performance. He just yells it at Siri.
Yeah, it's for a movie that has no time to waste. It's shocking that it's 2 hours, but
yeah. I just feel like I couldn't really catch my breath at times. I was like, I need to breathe. So we're waiting for the shoe to drop.
We're waiting for the shoe to drop, and it comes in the next scene where we find out that I guess she's going to be nominated for some award.
A Grammy. Some award. Some dumb award.
With Maluma, and this was a weird scene because it was sort of hard to follow who was right and who was wrong.
Yeah, and what was she supposed to do in that scenario?
Because I think she made a good point when she goes, I know I said that awards don't matter, but this would be really important to my career.
Yeah.
And which is true. And then Owen Wilson goes, but just so you know, awards don't matter.
And she's like, yeah, I know.
You should not be doing this. And I was like, I think you're overstepping.
Yeah, it's at this point it's business. Okay, she's nominated for a Grammy, and Maluma is like, "Hey, I'm doing a show at the Garden. Come perform "Marry Me." It'd be big for the song. It would be big for the nominating committee. Like they need to see this, and I agree. Like from a business perspective, she has to go do the song.
She has to go do it, and I just didn't think it was.
And he's like, I mean, do what you want, but
yeah, do what you want. And even the manager, or not her manager, I forget who it is, some guy that works for her, he even says to Owen Wilson, he's like, buddy, she doesn't like him. Like, cool your jets.
She doesn't like Bastion. We're good. This is like a business thing, which I trusted Kat Valdez to keep it business. He's a fuckboy, Bastion.
She does keep it pretty businessy.
And she does.
But I guess what they're supposed to communicate to us is that there's no way that Owen Wilson could understand her life.
Her world. Yeah.
Her world.
It's all very cliche. It's all very tropey. It's all very rom-com-y. So I'm going to like excuse all of it. I just always wish in these kinds of movies that it wasn't going to be some sort of fight where there's some sort of miscommunication where I struggle as an audience member to even see the miscommunication. I kind of hate when that happens. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, not that I wanted to see her cheat on Owen Wilson. Well, I mean, I don't even know if it's cheating, but she's married or whatever. But it was one of those things where the big shoe that dropped wasn't it wasn't the normal shoe that drops. Because you could see both sides. And all that I wrote down is I said the next time I watch this movie, which I will, I am skipping this section because it didn't do anything for me.
Which I will,
but I'm 100% gonna skip this section. I'll watch them sing the song for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not gonna indulge in this drama again because it was so inconsequential as a viewer.
Yeah,
that I couldn't buy into it.
It was like it was a mechanism of the script. I'm like beyond forgiving of all that because we see the track and I like the track.
Yeah,
I know where we're going. I know where we're going. I wasn't worried. Were you worried?
Yeah.
Well, you did say if they don't end up together. I swear to God.
Don't. I swear to God. But he watches the performance. Apparently, it's like being televised. Everyone can see it, and
Bastion's just random concert televised live.
I think he shows up to the concert too afterwards, and
he shows up to the concert or the after party, the rooftop, and he's like, "Great job, but I'm here to tell you I don't think this is gonna work."
He breaks up with her.
I can see where it's like a little bit sweet because he is trying to take care of her in that moment. He's trying to say, "Hey, I see your life. I see what you need to be successful, and I don't know if I can give you that. I'm not Bastion." I'm not like a hot superstar. And like in a way, you guys understand each other. And I actually even really liked that they speak Spanish again.
Yeah.
At that point, because it's like you guys get each other. It was a nice little color,
I understood where he was coming from, but she was like, "What are you doing?"
She's like, "Are you breaking up with me?
Are you insane?
I can't believe this. What would make you think that I want that?"
And he's like, "Yeah.
Yeah, I'm breaking up with you."
And
she gets
out of there.
Swept away to take a shot or drink some champagne or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if J.Lo drinks. Probably not.
I think she has like one glass of champagne.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. A courtesy glass.
But J.Lo's, I guess, they're both devastated, but I at least respect the way that Owen Wilson handled the situation. I thought he was being pretty mature. That's why it was like nice to see like adults acting like adults in the movie.
Yeah, Owen Wilson was lovely in this.
I think if they would have paired her with like a really young person, I guess like Maluma.
Yeah.
I think that it would have just been like a normal rom-com-y type hijinks, but she remembers, I guess days later, that it's finally the mathlete competition, and she's
the way she remembers is beyond weird. She's like, I think her assistant goes, "Oh yeah, I follow Charlie and he's getting ready for his math competition." Right. And she's "Wait, tomorrow's the math competition?" I'm just like, this is so bizarre how you're getting your news.
Should have been.
She should have just remembered.
No, what it should have been is this. We see her turn her flip calendar over and it's March 14th. And she's like, Pie Day. That's the competition.
Shut up. That would have been so funny.
But she's like, okay, this is my moment. I have to go and
surprise him. Because I love him.
Because I love him. And I love that we get a classic, like, chase to the airport.
Yeah.
And
where was this competition?
I had no clue. I had no idea we were getting on a plane.
I don't want to sound stupid, but I didn't think it was a flight.
Well, I didn't think it was a flight either, because what we don't see is, like, we don't see Owen Wilson getting the team through security and making sure everyone has their boarding pass.
I'm pretty sure. They take like a coach bus.
Okay. It was, I had no idea where the competition was.
They say it a lot too. I just forgot.
They did.
They say it a ton.
Wherever it is, it's a place where when you get off the airplane,
it's cold.
The Ubers are nowhere to be found. And
true.
Luckily, Sarah Silverman is there, and she's going to help her get there. But I really love the line. I love when Sarah Silverman gives J.Lo a talking to, and she's like, listen, what are you doing? And if you tell me you're here just for, like, fun, like, get out.
Get back on that plane.
Get back
in
on
your
the plane.
stilettos.
She's literally like, whatever his name, Owen Wilson, she's like, he can't handle this. Yeah. So what are you doing?
Good best friend work.
I love the scene. I thought it was so good.
Great scene.
To stand up to J.Lo like that and really put her in her place.
Loved it.
You don't see that a lot in these movies.
Refreshing.
Yeah, you don't see someone calling her on her shit.
I know. It was lovely. I did think, I don't want to discredit the performance Sarah Silverman does. I love this movie as is, perfect. I want to see the movie again and just with Leah Remini just because. Just for fun. Just for fun.
Yeah.
That's it. Same character, but just for fun. Just to get her line delivery on that. I just wanted her line delivery on that.
Yeah. I agree. It would have been cool to see. I think it would have been tough for Leah Remini to stand up to her like that in a way that felt distant, because I think it would have been too charming.
Yeah, she'd been like, we're best friends.
Yeah, I think the distance between Sarah Silverman and J.Lo worked to the benefit in this scene.
I did have this thought. Did you have this thought during the movie? I wonder if J.Lo knew who Sarah Silverman was before this movie.
No, she had no idea.
No clue.
She was like, oh,
that's not fair. She probably knew.
Maybe.
She probably knew.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
But I had the thought because they're about the same age.
Yeah, that's what I did appreciate is that they were casting people who are not in their, like, early 20s to be in the movie, and they wouldn't have to have a co-teacher from the school, a 23-year-old, to deliver that to J.Lo. It wouldn't have worked.
No
J.Lo
fun.
would have smacked her.
And they look a decade under what they are, which is trippy.
Oh, sure,
it's
but
trippy.
They at least come across as peers, and that was refreshing.
Lovely. So she's like, Charlie, not Charlie. She's like, Kat, are you serious or not? And Kat's like, which was not a yes. Like, it wasn't a solid yes. It was I just got on a plane in heels. What do you think? Fill in the blanks.
Before this scene, I have to go back to it. There was J.Lo's best comedic work is when she gets to the airport and she's standing in line. And she finds out there's no flights to wherever we're going.
Forget.
And she turns around. She turns around in the line and goes, "Okay, I'll give whatever $5,000 to whoever will sell me their standby ticket." And the woman goes, "You can't do that.
You can't do that.
And
That's
J.Lo
illegal."
J.Lo goes, "You can't."
And I believed her.
I believed her.
She didn't know.
I believe she didn't know. Also, I didn't know.
I didn't know that. I would have done it too. I would have done it
too.
I would have turned right to the person behind me and said, $1,000? I gotta go.
When she gets on the plane, she orders, like, some food, and they're like, "No, ma'am, like, we
champagne and caviar for the whole plane."
Yeah, she's like, "We have cheese squares and whatever,
cheese squares, ham and cheese wraps, and I don't know,
whatever."
Bud Light,
so J.Lo orders a beer for everyone on the plane, and then we hear one person just pipe up from the back, "What about the cheese?" J.Lo's like,
she goes,
"I guess
ham wraps and beer for everyone. What about the cheese cubes?"
Yeah,
I guess add that too.
And then after she buys it, she does a really good delivery. She goes, "Okay, and by the way, does anyone have a winter coat that I could borrow?"
Does anyone have a winter coat I could buy?
It was so cute. So it was
Again,
when
the
she
movie
gets
taking
there,
pains to explain how she's going to walk off the plane in a coat, but
yeah,
not explaining at all how they're married.
just like Renee Zellweger in New in Town. But we don't really get like that kind of a blowing scene. But she
Yeah.
does make it to the math league competition, I guess a little late because
Just a tad. It's like sudden
Lou is
death
up
round, and
there.
she's there.
Yeah. And Lou blows it.
Lou
She gets
blows
it
it.
wrong because
Yeah.
she gets stage fright.
Wonderful performance from that little actress. Like, she's stressed.
Yeah, she does. She does a good job, and I did appreciate the fact that she got it wrong because
No, she got the
it
answer
would have
right. It just wasn't in the right timing.
right.
Because her
I,
father was doing a fucking dance.
her father was doing a dance, and the other coach was like, he's signaling the answer to her. He's like, I'm dancing. So, right, she ends up losing it for the team, which is great because that allows space for J.Lo and Owen Wilson to get back together, so
Yeah.
they don't have to overshadow her win.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're right, because if she wins and then they get back together, it's like, well, which
it's
one do we
awkward.
care about more? It's so awkward.
Right. Owen Wilson's like, sweetie, move over. So
Step aside, please.
they get back together, and that's the end of the movie.
That's it.
That's it.
If you sit with the
And
question long enough, you find the answer.
you'll find the answer. And I guess the answer is they're still married.
Yeah, that's the answer.
They've been married since the beginning. So
Yeah.
and then in the title cards or in the end titles, they show what I hope are real life couples.
Felt
who
like
are
it, but I don't know.
also sharing their stories of how they met spontaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And we end with J.Lo and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, being
And-
together. Cute.
And I think that compared to some of the other J.Lo movies, I really think that these two, I think they can make it. I think they can make it, these two.
Yeah, I've never heard you say that before. Usually by the end of the movie, you're like, they're done.
They're done.
They're
and
toast.
Listen, I call it like I see it, but
Yeah.
I don't think.
And I trust you.
I think that these two, out of anybody, would have the most luck.
Agree. I totally agree. They're about the same age.
They're about the same age.
He's like
and
quirky, cute. He really balances her out. He brings out her
Yeah.
fun, loving side. Maluma is like, no.
Yeah. It just felt like there was a lot of potential there. So I was happy to see it.
It was lovely casting. I told you I'm still infinitely curious about how Owen Wilson was brought onto the project. He would
Yeah.
not be my first choice, so I'm like, I'm curious. Definitely curious.
I don't know where they plucked that name from, but it certainly worked.
Yeah, because I was trying to rack my brain for like who else could work in this. Do you want to know what I feel like would lend a lot of actor credibility? Steve Carell. Imagine. What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't think it would work.
It could work, but I think what's good about Owen Wilson is that he's never competing with J.Lo. And I think if you get somebody who's too
Charismatic,
funny,
maybe. Yeah.
and they pull, the last thing you want to do with J.Lo is you want to pull light. And I don't think that Owen Wilson ever does that, which is good.
No, he never does. He really does take the back seat. And you're
But
right.
I
In
think
all
to
the
your point, though,
promo,
it's a good role for a man of a certain age. I think it is.
flip that on
So-
its head.
Yeah.
Have all the 50-something men clawing for this part.
Yeah,
That would have been
they
awesome.
would kill to be in Marry Me.
Okay, wait. It's a new
So-
reality show called Casting Charlie.
Casting Charlie.
And it's a
Or-
bunch of 50-something
yeah.
men competing for this role.
Or they go, or at the end of every episode, the host goes, "Marry who?" And all the guys go, "Marry me." And that's how they end every episode after they eliminate someone.
From like the Big Brother type house. Like it's a
Yeah,
gorgeous house.
exactly.
And they're all like holding like a glass of champagne. Marry me. Cheers. And that's how you get out of every episode.
That's how you get out of it. And then we borrow some of the rules from the 70s house. So every time they play Love Don't Cost a Thing, they have to get up and dance.
They gotta dance. Yeah.
They have to dance.
I love this show. What a good
Yeah,
show. And then
it
the
would've been so good.
challenges. The
They can
challenges.
still do it. They can still do it.
They do like a whole challenge of playing second banana to somebody. And like the
Yeah, there's
second
like
you overshadow, you're eliminated.
They do a sign challenge where you have to make a sign, a "Marry Me" sign, to get you noticed in the crowd.
And Owen Wilson wins the part because his doesn't have a question mark. And they're like, we love that nuance.
Yeah. Either you didn't get it or you got it.
Or you got it. And then Tyra Banks might be a guest judge.
For sure.
I think that'd be
probably.
cool because she's just a great judge in general.
She's a great judge of character and of modeling. So,
Yeah.
which is two things you need to be a math teacher. So
That's what I want in
yeah,
my math
I think
teachers.
it could have been a good show.
Well, write that one down.
Well, it was a wonderful ride. I definitely will watch this movie again. I
I
can
had the
tell you
most
that.
fun ever. I think when I do watch this again, it'll probably be with you. I think we'll be in your
Yeah,
apartment
watching it on the big screen.
and I won't have a choice in the matter. I think I'll turn
No,
around and it will be on.
it'll be on, and we're gonna fast forward through the parts that I don't like. Just those 10 minutes.
I
I can't.
respect that about you because for some reason I have this mental block where I just think like I'm imprisoned to the experience at this point and I can't get
Yeah,
out of it. And you're
no,
very much like,
never.
no, no,
I don't like
nothing's
that scene.
permanent.
Yeah,
I have a duty to take care of myself in this life and I'm gonna fast forward through that.
yeah. It's just like self-preservation.
Yeah, I don't
But
have I don't think it's an option for me, which is weird. It's weird.
mm,
Because it is. It's available to me. A fast
it
forward.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Someone who does yoga would know that.
Oh my God. Well, that
What?
was the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Well, you can start.
I've been doing Peloton yoga. I told you.
That's good.
I
Me
enjoy
too.
it a lot. But I told you that the girl I did recently, she took us from Warrior 1 and wouldn't let us go to Warrior 2. And I was very upset.
Okay, wait.
Pissed.
What was her name? Because I think I know who it is.
Is it,
Is it the blonde lady?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's
And
wrong
she's
with
so
you?
she's so quick. She brings you up into warrior, and then she immediately
She goes
puts you
back down.
Yeah,
Plank.
as soon as you get up.
Chaturanga.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to. That's the one thing I don't like about her sun salutations is that you're never given a moment to.
Yeah. I'm like
breathe.
pulling a muscle in my back through the sun salutation because
And
it's that fast.
she is obsessed with tree pose. I don't know if you. It's like I'm like, ma'am, this is a little played out.
Tree's not going to happen. Stop. I'm just annoyed at you if you don't let me go from Warrior 1 to Warrior 2. I did it myself. I made it my own
she's
routine.
obsessed with Warrior 3. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, and that's the one I don't
Warrior
love.
3 is really hard.
It's hard because it's hard.
It's
But
so hard.
I respect it because it is the one that's actually making me stronger. It's like making my core stronger and my
For
back
sure.
body.
Like you're gonna get a lot out of. I mean, we saw J.Lo do a Warrior 2 in this, but
Yeah.
I mean, to do a Warrior 3, like that is hard. But you're right. I think you're only gonna grow during Warrior 3, but
It's a growth pose.
it's a growth. Anyway, sorry,
Wow.
Kristen Mickey, but
That was who it was.
that's her name.
Love
That's
you
her
though.
name.
Love your shit.
Well,
Like,
I love you. Oh my god, like don't ever stop.
Don't
Because I
stop.
do
Like,
your
I'm gonna
class
keep taking
every
your
day.
classes.
Every day. I'll do it.
I love how you knew.
Yeah, I knew who it was. Because
Wow.
the other girl doesn't do that. So, but I actually only take Kristen's classes.
Me too.
I like her voice. She's very calming.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm so down. Wow. Okay, we always end these with thank you, J.Lo. Holy
Thank you,
mother.
J.Lo,
Thank you for being you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And the good news is that we have more J.Lo movies to look forward to because I know she has a new Netflix movie coming out, I think this year, called Mother, where she plays an assassin. which is
Whoa, more work.
it's
More jobs.
more. She's booked and busy. So, like we said at the beginning, she touched down to show us her job, but now she's going to go to another field of work, assassinry, and she's going to show us the ins and outs, how to stamp your time card as an assassin. So
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
If I was ever like workshopping a career change, I think I'd go through J.Lo's whole repertoire and just pick.
Okay, out of all the careers that J.Lo's had in all of her movies, and all of them from Monster-in-Law are also on the table.
Oh, so a Little League coach is available?
Little League coach. I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
which one
this
are
is
you
very
picking?
topical. If I could make enough money doing it, why not just be a yoga instructor like she was in Monster-in-Law?
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one.
Wedding planner honestly sounds like hell. You couldn't pay me,
I know. I was.
even though they were paying her a lot.
I
But
think maybe because it was the most recent on our brains, my mind immediately went to the wedding planner one. But I hate planning, so no, I hate
the only
calling
potentially
vendors.
second one is a, and I know we don't use the term anymore, but
Maid.
because it's that classic question, and I'll ask you, even though I think I know the answer. If
Mm.
you had to work on a cruise ship, what would you want your job to be? Have you ever heard this?
I am never working on a cruise ship. Never.
Okay, no, you have to do it. Okay, if you had to work on
No.
a cruise ship, what would you be? It actually tells you a lot about your character.
Do I say what I think you want me to say, or do I say
No, what would
performer?
yeah, performer. Knew it. I would probably want to
Performer.
I would probably want to work in housekeeping.
It's a really easy schedule. Not an easy schedule,
Not
but
an easy
you
schedule,
know
but
your
don't-
schedule. You
your
know
schedule,
it.
and you don't have to interact with the guests. And that's
Love
the
that.
last thing I'd want to do on a cruise ship.
I know. I would probably be like the cruise director. Yikes.
Okay, again,
Julie on the Lido deck.
You ask people what position they would want on a cruise ship, and you hear their world, because it reveals everything.
You have just, wow. I'm writing that down. I'm going to use that. That's going to be like a date question.
It's a great icebreaker.
Yeah, I hate icebreakers, but yes, I'm going to use that because it does tell you a lot about their character.
Oh, it tells you everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's no follow-up. It's
wow.
Got it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, God. I like your answer a lot because I don't really like interacting with people if I don't have to.
Especially not on a cruise.
Yeah.
But
fraternizing, is that the word, with the guests?
Fraternizing. But I think the good news is that when Mother comes out, we'll be able to add Assassin to the list, and then you can see if you want to update. But
if I want to update. Well, I actually did really like Hit Girl from J.Lo.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
Well,
I don't want to do that,
/ contractor. But
freelance.
Okay. Well, what a wonderful ride.
That was so much fun, J.Lo. Thank you.
It's like one of my new favorite movies. It was so good.
I was absolutely giddy.
I will say this. I still think my favorite J.Lo movie from start to finish is Second Act. I think it's still my favorite.
I know.
What this one had that none of the others did is music videos. So
I really like the music element.
It'll be tough. I'll have to rewatch Marry Me again, and then I'll be able to decide. But I think I have to say at this point, Second Act is still my favorite J.Lo movie.
I mean, like, I pick Hustlers, but is it canon? Is it J.Lo canon? Like, maybe not, because Hustlers very much was that director's project, you know? But
I think the only difference with Hustlers is that, and this never happens in a J.Lo movie, she's supporting.
Yeah, she kind of is. But she does steal the show.
Constance Wu.
She steals the movie.
Oh, for sure. But I think of the J.Lo leads canon.
Yeah, you're right. I can't count Hustlers. Second Act. Yeah.
Yeah.
That twist is just too good. It's shocking.
I actually just forgot it. And I just remembered.
Those of you who are only listening, Steven's face when he remembers.
I'm telling you, if you've never seen Second Act, go watch it right now. And if you have seen it, you know what we're talking about. The twist to end all twists.
We've said it before. M. Night Shyamalan wishes
his
he
village
came up with this.
His village is that company that she worked at. So
she consulted with him for the twist.
Yeah, she was like, you want to hear about this idea I have? Okay. Anyway,
phenomenal movie. Thank you, J.Lo. We're so excited for the Marry Me era until the Mother era. Yeah, I'm like ready. And go support J.Lo. Go buy a movie ticket.
Go buy a Coach bag.
Go buy a Coach bag. Go buy a Vitamix. Yeah. She needs the money. Go stream Marry Me on Peacock. Available now.
Yeah.
And I mean, on that note.
Yeah, you have the rest of the day to get it done. Okay.
Yeah. That's your assignment. And don't forget to rate, comment, review. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Spotify. We love...
We're everywhere.
Waking up to new reviews. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Steven. I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye.
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 Okay.